One issue that confronts both students and scholars of the book of Ecclesiastes is the meaning, or maybe meaninglessness, of the Hebrew word Hebel. The Hebrew word Hebel is used 38 times in the book of Ecclesiastes in 30 separate verses. The word is used multiple times in 2 verses that form a frame around the body of the book, in chapter 1 verse 2 and chapter 12 verse 8. In the oft-quoted "Vanity of vanities," says Kohelet, "Vanity of vanities, everything is vanity." The Hebrew word Hebel is certainly an important word and concept in the book of Ecclesiastes. But what does the Hebrew word Hebel mean? Understanding the word's importance based on its frequency and function within the book is seemingly easy to grasp, and yet the meaning of the word and how one should translate it has eluded certainty since the first translators wrestled with having to translate the book into Greek. At its base, the Hebrew word means breath or vapor, and it appears that the Hebrew word is an onomatopoeia, with the name of the word suggested by the sound of one's breath. The Hebrew noun Hebel occurs 73 times in the Masoretic text, or the Hebrew Bible, and a verb deriving from the noun, haval, occurs 5 times. Over half of the word's occurrences appear in the book of Ecclesiastes. The word continued to be used in later post-biblical Hebrew. Other West Semitic languages also attest cognates, but these seem to have been influenced by the use of the term in the Old Testament. Other languages, such as South Semitic dialects, attest similar words, and these appear to be loanwords as well. The Hebrew word Hebel shows 3 primary meanings in the Hebrew Bible. The first meaning is breath or vapor, and this would be the word's literal meaning. One passage in which this literal meaning is displayed is Isaiah 57:13. "When you cry out, let your collection of idols deliver you. The wind, ruach, will carry them off. A breath, havel, will take them away." Here, the term Hebel is used in conjunction with the term ruach, meaning wind. In addition to the meaning breath, the term Hebel is also used to refer to something that's transitory, or empty of meaning. This is a metaphoric expression of the basic meaning of the term. One passage that displays this meaning of the term is Isaiah chapter 30, verse 7. Here the term Hebel is used in conjunction with the term reek, meaning empty or vain. And Hebel seems to have the sense of worthlessness. Another passage that displays this meaning is Jeremiah 16:19. And lastly, in some passages, the term Hebel is used to refer to an idol. One passage that displays this meaning of the term is 2 Kings 17:15. They despised his statutes and his covenant that he made with their ancestors, and the warnings that he gave them. They went after false idols and became false. The verb became false is derived from the verb form haval. In Genesis 4, the biblical character Abel's name likely also derives from the word Hevel. Abel's name is Havel. Unlike Adam's, Eve's, and Cain's names, Abel's name is given no etiology, that is, no explanation for the meaning of Abel's name. For example, Genesis 4:1 states, "Now the man knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bore Cain, saying, I have acquired, Kaniti, a man with the help of Yahweh." And although the biblical author gives no explanation for Abel's name, it's likely that an ancient audience would have immediately picked up on the fact that Abel would be a transitory character, given the meaning of his name. Abel lives up to his name. He's literally here today, gone tomorrow. In the book of Ecclesiastes, Kohelet calls a number of things Hebel. For example, all things done under the sun, or the fact that he must leave what he has worked so hard for to somebody else, whether that person is wise or foolish, or the fact that the fate of humans and animals is the same, they all die. He calls life Hebel, and all things in human existence he calls extremely Hebel. To better understand what Kohelet means by Hebel, we might look at other words that are used in contrast to Hebel. For example, profit, or good, possessions or reward, or advantage. All of these things are the opposite of Hebel. Concepts or ideas that Kohelet parallels with Hebel include shadow, a toiling after the wind, a grievous evil, or a great evil. It seems clear that the term Hebel has a very negative connotation in the book of Ecclesiastes. It's opposite that which would give life meaning. However, defining Hebel and rendering it into a receptor language has proven difficult. Scholars have translated the term Hebel in various ways: vanity, meaningless, pointless, useless, no use, nothing, enigmatic, absurd, and countless other translations, including incomprehensible, unknowable, mysterious, ironic, futility, trace, transience. Some scholars do not even try to render the word, due to the enigmatic nature of the word and disagreement regarding its exact meaning. One might say that Hebel in Ecclesiastes is a riddle wrapped in a mystery, inside an enigma, to reapply a quote by Winston Churchill. One question that translators must wrestle with is whether or not each use of the word Hebel should be rendered the same throughout the book, or whether each use of the word should be translated according to its specific meaning in each context. This, of course, is difficult, since not every use of the word in Ecclesiastes has sufficient context to know exactly what Kohelet means. Additionally, translators must wrestle with two contexts: the context of the text in its original setting, and the context of the audience, the two horizons. What does vanity mean to readers today? Or meaningless, or useless, or absurd? Take, for instance, the word vanity, which is a common translation for Hebel. The term vanity had a specific meaning in the 17th century, when the King James Version was completed. However, vanity may not have the same connotation today. Perhaps the best we can say is that attempting to translate Hebel is itself Hebel.